In this video, sabay po nating tingnan yung mga request ninyo sa akin sa PSE and at the same time, mga crypto charts. Are you guys ready? Let's go! Alright everyone, let's start off with ALLDY, no? But before we actually start today's charting session, I just like to mention, quick disclaimer lang, na I am recording this while the market is live. And the reason for that is, unfortunately, I have a busy day today. Marami akong kailangan gawin and I won't be able to record sa normal recording hours ko, no? So, pasensya na kayo. I'm trying to push this as much as I can para makuha natin as much data as we can prior to me analyzing the chart within today. Okay? Also, yung charting session natin today will be slightly different. I'm doing both PSE and crypto together, no? And again, the reason for that is twofold. Number one, wala pa rin gaanong exciting na nangyayari sa PSE. And number two, I wanted to focus on just two pairs sa crypto this week. So I decided na since ang konti lang nung pairs and wala rin namang gaano exciting na nangyayari sa PSE, mas maganda pagsamahin ko na lang sila under one video. Okay? Now, dito sa ALLDY, we have come back dito sa previous level of support na to. And in fact, we actually broke beneath it for a few times, no? Meaning nag-try tayong mag-print ng new 52-week low, pero hindi tayo nag-close ng new 52-week low. Diba? If we look at the area here, let me zoom in a little bit. Price has always come back dito sa 0.405 and it has held so far. In fact, one can argue na pwede natin tignan to as some type of inverse head and shoulders pattern, albeit maliit lang. Okay? Now, I'm gonna zoom out a bit just because ang pangit talaga sobra nung drawing kapag ganun ka-zoomed in, no? Ano ang tinitignan natin dito sa ALLDY? For me, the first thing that we're looking at, the first bullish step, is if we can break above this inflection point. So that's around 0.43, no? If we can come up and break above 0.43, then I think that's an indication na price may be ready to come back to 0.46 next. Okay? Tapos, pagka nangyayari ngayon ganon, I think mas magpo-form ng clearly yung inverse head and shoulders pattern na malaki dito. Mas magiging malinaw, mas meron tayong pwedeng sandalan moving forward. Now, kapag meron ng ganyan, then obviously what we'll be watching out for next is a break of that bigger inverse head and shoulders neckline at 0.46 to possibly come and target 0.51 followed by 0.56 next. Now, because of yung price ng ALLDY, obviously each segment nasa more than 10% or around 10% kaagad, diba? So each segment will be perfectly tradable, no? Now whether or not magbigay siya ng actual setup remains to be seen. However, would you buy dito sa pinakababa? That's up to you, no? Syempre, meron naman kayong laging option na feeling nyo, nag-hold na yung support, bibili na ako just in case we start pushing higher from here. Pwede naman, pwede kayong mag-accumulate at lower prices at cut na lang agad kung kunwari hindi maganda. However, again, for me, I always try to wait for something to develop, for something to be clearer before I jump in. Kasi gusto ko, meron ako sinasandalan na maayos for my trade idea. 'Di ba? Kung ang sinasandalan ko lang dito is kung ma-break tong mga lows na to at 0.395, ikakat ko agad, maaaring kasabay ko lahat ng tao nagkakat Maaaring magkaroon ng slippage, meaning sabay-sabay nagkakat lahat ng tao. Baka before ko mabenta yan, nasa 0.37 na, 0.35 na, and I'm losing more than I anticipated simply because sabay-sabay lahat nagkat ng tao 'Di ba? So parang it becomes a very iffy proposition from there, at least for me. 'Di ba? So I would rather see something shape up, something na pwede kong sandalan dito sa ALLDY before jumping in. All that being said, syempre, yung nangyayari ngayon is potentially a good sign na, no? So hopefully, tuloy-tuloy na yung nangyayari dito sa ALLDY. Sana we start pushing higher from here, lalo na do sa mga may hawak from before na baka naipit dito sa ALLDY. Okay? Kung hindi naman kayo naipit, okay, tas naghahanap lang kayo ng entry, then again, it's up to you but try to consider yung pinag-usapan natin in this analysis. Next is Ethereum, no? So itong Ethereum, kung papansinin natin, over the past week or past couple of weeks, wala pa rin nangyayari sa kanya. We are still essentially ranging within this area. However, yung sinasabi ko for the past 2 weeks still hold true. The flows are still to the downside. It's just that nagko-consolidate muna tayo. Magbabago lang yung overall flow if we start breaking out to the upside. But for now, walang nangyayari. And since walang nangyayari, okay, wala ring magbabago sa overall read natin. That's why hindi na ako nagsimula sa weekly chart this week. However, we may notice from this range na parang nag-reject na tayo lower. Mas hindi na natin binabalikan yung higher end ng range natin at 2159. And essentially, we have been trading dun sa halfway point more or less nung range na yon. Okay? Which shows me na baka sooner rather than later, ma-decide na nito na ready na siyang bumaba. Now, para sa akin, masasabi nating ready na siyang bumaba if we can actually break beneath this low here. And that's at 1,900 more or less. If we can close beneath 1,900, then I think price will come back dito sa blue zone na to at around 1,700 to 1,730 na area. Again, it's just a rough approximation, no? Kasi syempre, we can never be super exact naman eh. Okay? Lalo na sa mga ganitong types of charts, no? So if we can break beneath that, then highly likely we come back and tag tong blue zone beneath. Now, let's look at it from a 4-hour time frame para lang maging mas malinaw ng konti, no? So as you can see, I've actually marked out dito sa 4-hour time frame yung extreme low. So yung extreme low dito, makikita natin, is around tong 1864 na area. While I maintain na kapag nabasag yung 19, I think yun na, yung simula, na we can start digging deeper. Alright? However, we do need to recognize na meron pa tayong isang extreme low na level of support dito at 1864 that price could react from. Not saying na hindi 19 yung key level I'm just recognizing na meron pa isa dito just in case na kung bumaba man ay makahanap tayo na reaction, at least we're not caught unaware. However, once that level is taken out, there's really nothing stopping price from going all the way down dun sa target area na pinag-usapan natin. Okay? Now, for potential upside moves naman, for me, same pa rin as before. Para masabi ko na meron na tayong some type of reversal na nagaganap, I want this red zone to be taken out. If that red zone between mga 2,450 to 2,500, more or less, gets taken out, I think that's an indication na for the short term at least, we can still try to start pushing to the upside. Okay? Bakit still try? Bakit still? Bakit try? Diba? Kasi depende pa rin yan sa overall look ng structure should that happen eh. Okay? Mahirap kasing i-generalize lahat ng possible scenarios under one contingency lang na basta mabasag tong red zone, okay na. Diba? Depende pa rin kasi yan sa overall look eh. More or less, okay? A lot of potential scenarios kapag nabasag natin tong red zone, the possibility na may short-term reversal tayo at least is high. Pero meron pa rin mga scenarios like kung kunwari bigla lang tayo nag-spike one candle higher, diba? Pagka ganon, iniisip ko kagad, baka next candle or two mabawi din natin yan. So, kailangan maayos pa rin. Meron pa rin mga scenarios na hindi maganda para sa atin kung kino-consider natin yung potential upside moves dito sa Ethereum. Next, tignan natin yung Bitcoin, no? Now, tong Bitcoin, ganon din. Similar sa Ethereum, hindi ko napapakita yung weekly chart because for the past couple of weeks, all we've really done is consolidate. However, again, similar to Ethereum, I feel the overall flows are still kumbaga in favor to the downside. Panalo pa rin yung mga bears, no? Albeit yun nga, temporarily ay nagka-consolidate tayo. Now, kung nabasag natin tong 28.5 na area altogether, I think there's really nothing stopping price to coming back and tagging tong 25,429 hanggang 24,000 na area. Okay? Yan yung next level of support na pwede nating i-anticipate dito sa Bitcoin kung sakali man na mabasag nga tong consolidation na nagaganap. yung upside niya medyo mas mahirap ng konti basahin simply because nagkaroon tayo ng matinding spike dito. Okay? So, what I'm going to do or what I intend to do for myself is I want to see na mabasag tong white zone above, etong supply zone na to. I want to see that taken out before I start considering bullish moves dito sa Bitcoin. Okay? And the reason for that is because of yung imperfection or yung medyo may pagka-blurry ng konti ng pagbasa ko ng chart due again dito sa spike na naganap dito. Alright? Now, kung nasabihin natin nabasag tong 24,000 na level altogether, the next level na pwede nating mapuntahan is ito, yung 19,432 or sabihin na lang natin 19,000 na area, no? And if that breaks, baka balikan natin tong inflection point na to around 15,000, 16,000. And if that breaks as well, baka yung 12,000 na yung next key level or 13,000 na pwede nating bantayan dito sa Bitcoin. Now, same as before, baba po tayo sa 4-hour time frame para lang makita natin ng mas malinaw. Okay? Now, as we can see here, nag-form na talaga yung support dito sa area na to. Naka-multiple touches na tayo. Based on that, I would be highly surprised if we don't come and revisit this area again sooner rather than later. I'm not saying it will break, I'm saying na dahil makikita natin dito, we're slightly moving to the downside, diba? Each time we try to swing higher, I wouldn't be too surprised if mag-print tayo bigla ng bearish structure dito or ng bearish candle, and from that candle, we see moves to the downside targeting tong blue zone natin beneath. If this breaks, same as before no tinitignan natin sa daily chart, I really think there's no stopping yung price going down and targeting tong 25,400 to 24,100 na area. Alright? Now, does this mean na kapag nabasag niya yung range natin to the upside, sabi ko gusto ko mabasag muna tong puti, di ba? Does that mean na walang trades na pwedeng maganap kung mabasag nga to the upside? For me, honestly, I don't think I will find one kasi I will always be thinking about tong week na to, pampagulo. But that doesn't mean that there won't be any trades for you. Syempre, iba-iba naman yung approach natin sa market di ba? So, kung nabasag nga to, meaning mabasag tong 31,000 na area, what I would be looking for is to see if price will consolidate within this range. Kung nag-consolidate siya within that range, then maybe, maybe there's something to play for. And if we can break above tong 34,000, 35,000 na area, then I think etong range na to mas maganda. Mas magandang i-trade overall. Kasi just because mas malinis lang siya. Okay, yes, I understand the wick is still there. Pero at this point, kung umakit siya this far, then I might reconsider trading the range dahil lang mas lumilinis na yung canvas na tinitingnan ko. As compared dito sa area na to na mas choppy ng konti, and especially sa area na to na super choppy na. And then finally, tignan po natin yung MAC, no? Now, tong MAC, we have been trading overall within this wider range here, no? So, etong area na to, yan yung wider range na tinitignan natin dito sa MAC. However, it has tightened a bit dito. I would consider tong area na to as a potential overshoot, meaning yung overall range lang na tinitignan ko nung nag-contract siya ng konti will be somewhere between 4.8 hanggang 6.25. Okay? Now, all that being said, I realize na within that range, may nag-form na tayong strong inflection point dito sa 5.4. Bakit? It has acted as support here, resistance there, resistance there, resistance here, support here, resistance there, and so on. Okay, so kitang-kita naman siya, very obvious na inflection point. Now, I wanted to show that before we zoomed in para lang kita nyo saan galing lahat, no? Alright? Now, let's say na yun nga talaga yung range. And then this was an overshoot, and this was an overshoot. Meaning price has now come back. Diba? It moved higher, came back, tagged yung 4.8, held, and we're trying to hold dito sa area na to. If you wanted to approach this from a range trade perspective, I wouldn't go so far as to say na kapag nabili ko to dito sa 4.8, dapat i-target ko yung high end ng range at 6.25. Diba? Kasi kung titignan natin, merong very strong level of resistance dito So at the very least, if I wanted to range trade tong MAC, then I would sell some of my position dito around 5.4. Perhaps even tong high na to at around 5.35. Okay, I'd also be wary na meron tayong unfilled gap yata dito kung di ako nagkakamali. And etong gap na to mismo, hindi pa rin siya na-fill ng buo. Meaning, okay, maraming levels na pwedeng pag-untugan yung price na very logical levels na pwede niya talagang mag-react from for me to consider na, okay, sige, just because na nag-hold tong level na to, ibig sabihin kailangan bumalik tayo do sa high end ng range natin at 6.25. Para sa akin, kung ganito yung type of situation, I would rather be prudent. I would rather be very conservative in my approach, and at the very least, diba, kahit tama man ako do sa trade idea, sell a majority of my position dito around 5.4. If we can break above 5.4 and start holding above it here, then if you want, either bumili na lang ulit or mag-add na lang sa position nyo na natira and see if we can push higher from there, knowing na may resistance tayo na nag-form dito around 5.9 bago tayo umabot dito sa 6.25. Okay? Bakit ganon? Bakit may ibang range na sinasabi ko na mas madaling i-trade, may ibang range naman na alandi-landi ko na parang ang dami-dami ko sinasabi? Mema lang ba ako? Hindi, no? Kasi it's just that over time, over the years, sa kakatingin mo ng chart, sa dami mong nakikita, you kind of get a feel for what will work and what won't eh. In a lot of instances, kapag ganito na yung itsura, yung sobrang daming layers of chop along the way, okay, the trade might still work, the range is still valid, it's just that either maghihintay ka ng sobrang tagal, only to find in the end na mabibitin ka rin sa target mo, di ba? Or it will just outright fail. And the reason why it will just outright fail is because wala siya talagang mapuntahan na eh. Sa dami na ng namili, naipit, di ba? Mga gusto magbenta dito, gusto magbenta dyan. It makes it harder for price to develop in the way na gusto natin. Kasi marami ring ibang tao na may gusto ng X or may gusto ng Y or may gusto ng Z. And ganoon naman talaga yung market eh. It's comprised of people, each of which may kanya-kanyang gustong makuha from the market. Okay, so we need to understand sa ganitong type of situation, maaaring, yes, the range is actually there, but, diba, as we can see, over the past ilang months, nahirapan na rin tayong bumalik to the upside eh. So if you wanted to range trade this, and even if sabi ko nga, this was a potential overshoot here and everything, I wouldn't go beyond yung 5.4 just because I want to be conservative sa itsura ng chart and sa kalagayan ng market. So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin, no? I hope nakatulong po to sa inyo kahit konti and may natutunan kayo kahit papano. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!